president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Asuu, Professor Victor Sodeke, urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, stop tax waivers meant to fund tertiary institutions in the country. Professor Sodeke was speaking on Tuesday during a public hearing on monitoring of collection, utilization and other associated services relating to education tax from 2011 to 2022, each to poor funding of tertiary institutions and incessant industrial action to waivers granted to banks and other private institutions. The primary objective of TAT Fund, as introduced in 1992, is to provide supplementary funding to public tertiary institutions in Nigeria and enhance their infrastructure, academicality and research capabilities. The fund, which is applied through a 3% tax imposed on the assessable profit of companies registered in Nigeria, is collected by the Federal Inland Revenue Service and remitted to TAT Fund for allocation to eligible tertiary institutions.
Why should the president approve a waiver for banks not to pay some tax? And this is the sector of the industry that makes so much profit on a yearly basis. So why are you preventing them? This is one of the industries where people are properly paid, and you are preventing them. So I also believe that the legislator can come in this area, that there is a need to stop this so-called waiver. What you need to do, collect the money and do the job. Don't allow the company to go and do the job. We should look for how to stop this idea of waiver. And when there's a waiver that should not affect the third fund tax, it shouldn't affect the third fund tax. Because it's not part of what they gave waiver for. The third fund tax should be 2% of your accessible profit.
Based on that presidential order issued in 2011, there are certain categories of income that are exempt from tax. Some of them include short-term federal investment income from short-term federal government instruments and securities such as treasury bills and promissory notes, bonds issued by federal, state and local governments, and bonds issued by corporate bodies, including supranationalities. The last item there is interest earned by holders of the bond and short-term securities listed in paragraph 1 to 3 above.
The engagement by the committee is to ensure that education tax is duly collected by the FIRS as well as putting it to judicious use.
What we do is to monitor compliance, and they've been regularizing, updating their receipts of payment. And they've been reconciling, and this is where we as a committee have arrived at with you. The bone of contention have always and mostly been that the banks seem to be relying on a purported exemption order which clearly mentioned companies' income tax exemption order of 2011. We have asked the banks to produce the education tax exemption order, and they have failed to present it.
What we are saying here, that for now, we cannot conclude, like you are saying, until they furnish the tax computation, yes, which, under professional evidence, their tax consultant, Deloitte, computed, stamped and sealed and submitted to FIRS, which form the basis of whatever assessment that they have done. Even as a data, I want to submit that it may not be final, because we want to have Deloitte seated here for cross-examination.
If there is anything that is important to any Nigerian today, is the education of our children. So if you are invited to come in and discuss on how we can advance and develop education, I think it must be taken seriously by every Nigerian. So I want to move the motion that the MD of Zenith Bank, the tax consultants, FRS, in line with the motion that was moved early, appear before this House on the day that will be communicated, on 20th of next month, June 2024, I so move.
MDs of some banks, tax consultants, as well as FIRS were asked to appear before the committee on the 12th of June 2024. The committee also intends to run a forensic analysis of the companies that are to benefit from the waiver and those hiding under it.